Hello, time for an afternoon edition, a lunchtime edition, a little late lunch time edition with Mornings with Stanley. Got Stanley here, of course. Lucy is just in the other room. Finally got cleaned up. We went for a later than, well, it was a morning walk, but I would have gone earlier. It's just a little chilly outside. The wind was blowing. I didn't want to, it's past time for me to wear a sweatshirt. I did wear a jacket. And I didn't want long pants. So I waited till it warmed up a little bit. And we went. Did a little bit longer walk than normal. And then I came and did my rowing for half an hour. And then got cleaned up. Put my lunch in the oven. I'm having barbecue chicken breast with macaroni and cheese. One of the best meals Tavalla has. Love their macaroni and cheese though. I add, I think I mentioned this salsa before, 505 flame roasted Hatch green chili salsa. It's the best salsa on the planet. It's not in a restaurant. Best green salsa in my opinion. So I get that. I was very upset to find out that it appears that H-E-B is no longer carrying that, but Kroger still is. So I'll be doing more Krogering than I've been doing in the past. Now, it could be that they'll get it in the future, H-E-B, but I'm feeling, now that I've been fully vaccinated, I'm feeling more brave, and I'm doing exactly what they're telling us not to do. Don't let your guard down. I'm still wearing a mask. I'm still socially distancing from people, but I'm going and doing more things. Tomorrow after church, I think some of us are going to go out to eat for the second time. Last week was on a Friday night, but I think it's Italian food tomorrow. That's what somebody said they wanted. So I guess I'll go. Anyway, feels good to be vaccinated, but I know it's still a dangerous world out there. I think we're taking a lot of things for granted. I hope we're not gonna, I don't know. Seems like the scientists have always been right. It's gonna get worse, it's gonna get worse. And it's always gotten worse, even though other people say, oh, we're almost out of this. It's like, no, we're not. But once you're vaccinated, it makes you feel like it, even if you're not. Maybe I'm foolish. I don't know. Anyway, Stanley brought something to chew on here. I think I'm gonna throw it. Get him to leave the room. See if he comes back. He's coming back. He wants me to throw it again. Here. Okay, he's easily entertained. He's still a puppy, even though he's 3.5 years old. And he's 98 pounds. He's enjoying this. Okay, this time I'm going to close the door on him. Sorry, puppy. Take advantage of his absence and we can get back to our reading. We are in the book of Acts today, chapter 22, verses 6 through 8. While I was on my way approaching Damascus about noon, a great light from heaven suddenly shone about me. I fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to me, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? I answered, Who are you, Lord? Then he said to me, I am Jesus of Nazareth, whom you are persecuting. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. And now, our reading from Christian Maturity by the great E. Stanley Jones. This is Saturday of week 49. Love is power. We are looking at the fact that love never fails. Gandhi was beaten by a Muslim and written in 55, so the old version of that, by a Muslim in South Africa. A police officer came to make an inquiry. Gandhi replied that he did not want to prosecute the man. I expect to win him by love and patience. Where did you get this? Inquired the police officer. From the Sermon on the Mount, replied Gandhi. The police officer became Gandhi's devoted follower. A friend loaned my book, Mahatma Gandhi, an interpretation to a leader of the Karen rebellion in Burma. The leaders of the 6-year-old rebellion sat in the jungle underground night after night around the campfire reading it. Men who were using violence and hate were drawn to nonviolence and love as a method. I'll also say that Martin Luther King, when he was trying to figure out how to lead the civil rights movement, he read that book too. He was aware of Gandhi, but he thought it was just idealistic. But when he read Jones' book, realizing that it worked in India, it could work here. And that's why the civil rights movement, for the most part, was nonviolent. I went to a school for the blind and deaf in Korea, which is run by a man and wife who are radiant with the love of God. This pastor was captured by the communists and was bound and taken out to be shot. One of the leaders among the communists said half scornfully, "You're a Christian preacher, then preach us a sermon on Christianity before we shoot you." The man did. He forgot himself and his impending death for 45 minutes. He expounded God's love in Christ, and especially God's love in the cross. He preached as he had never preached before, and the communists saw that he meant it. At the close, the communist leader turned silently away and motioned to his followers to free the pastor. They did. Love never fails. Government officials in India are supposed to never be wrong. It is always the subordinates who have to take the blame for mistakes. But a very high up government official, a sincere Christian, said to a subordinate, "I'm sorry I made that mistake. It was my fault. I take the blame." The clerk burst into tears. Love never fails. Here is our prayer for today. O Christ, whether we be policeman or rebel or communist or just a person, we are all beaten to our knees by the might of your gentle love. For everything else is weakness. This alone is strength. Help us to make it our motive and our method. Amen. Our affirmation for the day: there is no power save the power of love. I shall use that power and only that power today. Jesus is Lord.